When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime Video.
Wide open, touchdown!
This week, the Dallas Cowboys and Detroit Lions face off in a high-octane clash.
Look at this, it's on the money.
Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with football's best party. TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the Cowboys and Lions, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We may live over 5,000 miles from Lincoln Financial Field, but what we lack in proximity, we make up for in film study. And each and every week, we'll be bringing you in-depth film breakdowns from across the pond and the Sooner State. Welcome to On the Shane Page. I am your host, Shane Haff. You can follow me on Twitter at ShaneHaffNFL, and I'm joined by BGN's own film guru, Jonny Page. Give him a follow on Twitter at JohnnyPage. Jonny, how are you doing this evening?
Yes, I am well. I am old enough, Shane, to remember the fans commenting on my BGN articles and commenting here saying we were too negative because the Eagles kept winning. I mean, that is sort of our job. That's what I'm asked to do for BGN. I'm asked to analyse what I can see. And I remember it a couple of weeks ago, someone commented like, feel like these offensive articles are quite negative. We're winning every week. And I replied, like, I get it. Like, if you don't want to know about this stuff, by all means, watch it. If I felt it was sustainable, don't think we would have been negative, but I think anyone who's watched the Eagles, especially since the bye week, they saw this coming. Don't think the Bears are that good of a team, if I'm honest. I think we made them look exceptionally good. But yeah, as I said, we saw this coming. Since the bye week, 15 points, 21 points, 16 points, 10 points. And sometimes you can be negative about the offense, and there are reasons why. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was talking about it on Birds at the Roundtable last night. If you just look since the bye, the Eagles have scored an average of 15.5 points per game, and they've only played one defense that's in the top 15.
Yeah, they haven't played good teams. They've played bad defenses, Bears, Cowboys. Yeah, but there you go. There you go.
So, yeah, it's been everything that I was afraid it was going to be when the Eagles were winning, and it just hasn't. Nothing's changed. And We'll talk about it. We'll talk about some of the things we think need to change. And I refuse. I still feel like so many of the changes are so simple. Like you could, and we'll get into it, but you could do some cool stuff in the run game that would make your pass game fine. You could make some small incremental changes in the pass game that even if the run game doesn't get better, your offense would be better. Like, there's a lot of things, and it seems so simple to me that I'm going to continue to hold out hope, but that is still fading. So we'll talk about it. A couple of comments here. Brett Eclipse says that Spotify told him he has 4,000 hours on Spotify listening this year, which is awesome. I don't think we've put out 4,000
Not
hours
all
of
of us.
content, so
Not all of us.
I'm assuming it's not all us, but he does say that he's watched 88 Pin Pull Network videos on YouTube. So there we go. Yakko wants to know if he's in time for the live crash out or if the anger's already been worked through. GGN says, what's up? We're going to get into it all, and we're going to try something a little different this week. I was telling Jonny off air that I just kind of enjoyed the conversational nature of the episode last week instead of like the pre-planned 3 points. And so we're going to try to just sort of talk about things we saw in the film, and we'll pull up clips as we go along, but it's going to be a little less like packaged and pre-planned, hopefully, and a little more free-flowing conversation. So I don't know how that's going to go, but it went fine last week, so we're going to try and do it a second time this week and see how that works out. So you guys can let us know what you think, what sort of format you prefer. I will say it is really nice for me not trying to pigeonhole myself into 3 points, but
That's basically the problem, is that we pigeonhole ourselves too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's
should we
jump in
start-
and offense or defense, Jonny?
Let's do offense. I feel like this would be the easiest defensive game to break down. I reckon we could do it in 10 minutes. I have nothing to say about the pass D in this game, like anything, and the run D sucked. So offense, as it quite often is, I would say, is the more interesting. Can we do something different? Can we start with the running game?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've said this for a while, and I know people are probably bored of me saying it, but I still maintain the pass game can be simple, and I'm okay with that if you have a good running game. Do you think it's a coincidence the Eagles ran one QB draw for like 20 yards, and the very next snap the Bears went single high, and they threw it deep to A.J. Brown? Because I'm not sure it is. So I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but I'm trying to find it on my phone. I tweeted every Saquon Barkley run from this week. And I don't know if you've actually got it on Twitter. I should have told you in advance.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
But long story short, every single carry was a zone run. There was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carries of outside zone and 6 carries of inside zone and 1 split zone. It is the most basic running game ever. And why do you think it is? Like, what is happening? Even a few weeks ago, they were running like a bit more counter. They just don't do anything. And this may not be perfect. I just noted it down as I was watching it, but I'm pretty sure it's sort of true. I can't explain it. I really can't.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I mean, we'll get there when we get to the defense, but it's just night and day difference watching the Bears run game and the bind that they had Eagles linebackers in, and that they had the defensive line in and the safeties. I mean, one play they're under center running a jet sweep, and the next play it's a jet motion, but it's split zone the other direction. And then the next snap, you get jet motion and a play fake bootleg, and you throw to the motion. And guys just had no idea what to do. And it's not just under center. Like, they had wham blocks out of shotgun runs. They had all kinds of different things that didn't involve even Caleb Williams keeping the ball, which is something we know Hurts can do. And so much of it to me, too, is that not only is the Eagles' run game static, but their personnel is making it very predictable. Like, I tweeted this one out, but Grant Calcaterra was on the field for 12 plays in this game, and 10 of them were passes.
Runs.
Right?
You mean runs?
10 of them were runs. And one of them, I think, was a QB sneak, so we'll exclude that one. 8 of the other 9, the Eagles ran away from him. And the one that they ran to him, it was 2 tight ends on the same side, and they pulled 2 offensive linemen that way. But, like, you just look at this, like, we can talk about the regression of the offensive line, and this is pistol, 12 personnel. You've got Calcaterra at the right. And we can talk about how not Lane Johnson. I wish Lane Johnson was out there. We could talk about how Jordan Mailata gets beat on the left here. And so, I mean, we'll watch that. He just gets beat, and the Varenne has to get forced up. But watch the Bears' defensive line. And this is all over the film. This is just the first time in the game that I saw it. Watch them all jump to the left of the screen at the snap. And they do that. They're slanting hard because they know the Eagles aren't running behind Grant Calcaterra. And yet the Eagles continue to insist on putting Grant Calcaterra on the field for rundowns. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I cannot think of any actual good explanation. And, you know, Grant Calcaterra can't block. We know that. And so presumably you would say, like, okay, he must be on the field because they use him as a receiver and you can't just put him out there on pass plays. But Grant Calcaterra has like 8 receiving yards, I think, in the last, I put this out. I think it was like the last 8 games or something like that. And so I don't get it. I just don't get it. And if they would get Calcaterra off the field, it could potentially make your run game better just by taking him off. Put Cameron Latu on there, or just go 11 personnel. I don't know.
So I've got a couple of things. I don't like judging coaches by press conferences because we know they all lie. We know Sirianni's a player's coach. But his answer on Calcaterra was laughable. Like, if you've not read his response, he's like, we have lots of faith. And it's just like, he can't do it. Like, we're not idiots. Like, fans aren't idiots. I mean, some are, but the majority are not. All you have to do is watch the game, and all you have to do, all right, don't watch the game. Just check PFF's run blocking score if you want. Don't even watch the game. Every single metric, every single film guy, every single guy on Twitter is saying the same thing. And I don't know if it is arrogance or they're just not very clever. Like, but you haven't got to be that clever to see it. I will defend the Eagles in one way, and this is just a thought I've had of late. Obviously, this year I've been doing lots of preview stuff that I've never done before, and it gives me a nice chance to see other teams. I will say, I think nearly every single team I've watched has a significantly better run blocking unit outside of the offensive line than the Eagles. I think when they've built this roster, I think Howie is underestimated. For a run blocking team, they are really bad at run blocking. I count A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in that. Devontae tries, but he's tiny. A.J. Brown gives it a go. Jahan Dotson can't block. Dallas Goedert has been appalling as a blocker. I'm more angry at Dallas Goedert than Grant Calcaterra because I know Goedert can block, and I don't want to say lack of effort, but do I say lack of effort? I heard someone on the BGN comments this week commented saying they think he's playing for a weirdly protecting his body for a contract. And I was like, well, his contract's not going to look very big because if the Eagles stop scheming in red zone passes, he does nothing else well this year. And I really don't think he's played well. Calcaterra can't block. They gave them Granson as their third tight end, who they kept on the roster. He can't block. Like, why they didn't keep someone like a Harrison Bryant or a Jack Stoll? Outside of the offensive line, they have got nothing. And I will just say, I'm not defending the coaches here, but I think it's worth saying that, like, they've got so little outside of the 5 offensive linemen who can block. There's just sort of no one there. Like, they can't do anything. They can't do anything creative. So why they've not just gone more like empty QB run game, I don't know. But yeah, it's been a problem. It's been a problem.
Well, and so with the Calcaterra thing, he's played 122 snaps in the last 5 games, and he has 8 receiving yards. So, like, just put Cameron Latu out
madness.
there. And speaking specifically of Nick Sirianni in the presser, talking about him being responsible for the defensive end, and Nick Sirianni's response was something about how, well, they rushed a nickel and they stunted this guy inside, and that would just be a tough block for anybody. Just watch how little the nickel impacts the block that Grant Calcaterra is asked to make here. Like, obviously, the D end is slanting hard because they know you're running away from Calcaterra. The nickel has absolutely no bearing on this play whatsoever, and Calcaterra can't seal that off to give a cutback lane. And I'm not mad at Calcaterra. I mean, I said this on Birds of the Roundtable last night, but if you judge a fish by its ability to fly, that's on you, not the fish. And the Eagles just continue to ask Grant Calcaterra to do something he absolutely can't do. And it's just a microcosm of what's wrong with the offense. Grant Calcaterra is not why the Eagles offense stinks. The way the Eagles are using him is a really good example of why the offense stinks.
Yeah, and I don't really know what else to say about the run game. I will just, I guess, end with this. I put this in the BGN article. Watching the Bears run game compared to the Eagles run game was like watching a different sport. It's like watching I don't know, I was going to say an English term, but whatever you'd call it, an NFL team compared to a high school team. Like, it's just a different world. They're living in a different world. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can have the QB run game chat, but it has to be a bigger thing, doesn't it? It simply has to. the QB run game would help a lot of problems. If they don't want him to run, I don't know what else to say. But the QB run game would help a lot of this stuff. So maybe they'll eventually just realize that there's no point keeping Hurts healthy for a playoff game they're not going to win. And if they bring back the QB run game, I don't mind the zone running stuff as much. Because if you bring back QB run game, that's sort of the whole point. But yeah.
Yeah, I just messaged you this, but GGN commented it here. Is your door closed, Jonny? Because you're lagging out pretty hard here on the live portion. And you're frozen again. You still there? Okay. Hopefully we get Jonny back. Having some issues there with the internet. I'll be able to edit this out again, so those of you watching this later or listening later won't have any idea what I'm talking about right now, hopefully. But anyways, let's keep rolling here. And something else I wanted to talk about is just, I want to give one more example of just ways that the Eagles' offense is sort of schemed out to fail. And so let me see if I can find the play here. Here it is. Jonny, are you back now? You seem to be on the screen.
My internet is unusually slow, so I'm trying to see if I can improve it, but I might need to come in and out if it's a problem. We'll wait and see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll ask this to the chat, or rhetorically then, since this is ongoing. But chat, do you know what the Bears' most common defensive coverage is? It's cover one. And we get the Eagles in a play here in the third quarter. And they're going to run a little swing pass to Saquon Barkley. So they're going to swing him out. They're going to try to get some blocking on the edge, get him out in space. The problem is the Bears are running their most common coverage, cover one man. So they have a linebacker chasing him, and the numbers just aren't there. And so Hurts has to come off of it. But what he has to come off of it to on the backside is a little slant flat route combination that also doesn't work against cover one man because you have a hole defender sitting right in the middle of the field. Like, I mean, you could run double slant and the first slant takes him out of the way. Like, that might work. But the Eagles run a play that has a front side read that doesn't really work against cover one man. And maybe you would say Hurts should just throw this and let Barkley try to make a guy miss. And maybe you could have an argument there. But on the backside, if the front side's not there, you also go to another play that has no chance against cover one man. And again, this isn't just like some tricky thing the Bears did because they never run cover one man. It's their most frequent coverage. And the Eagles call a play that's dead in the water on both sides. So Yakko asks why ask the chat a question, only give 2 seconds to respond. Well, it's bad to have dead air. I just meant in your head more than anything. But so there's examples like this. There's the things with Calcaterra. And then you also get into just some of the situational calls that the Eagles ran that just don't make sense. Like, there were multiple times in this game. Here's a good example that it's 3rd and 3. And the Bears are in dime. So they're playing remarkably light in dime. There's no second level defenders and the A gap is wide open. I mean, if you go to the back view on this play, look at this. Like, how do you not check into a run right here and exploit this massive opening in the middle of the field when you only need 3 yards? And the Eagles just didn't do it. And so there's so much of the details in the offense that just is not working. And I mean, we can maybe get into some of the good stuff too, and some of the throwing middle of the field after the game is over. But I just thought time and time again, the offense was ill-prepared and put in disadvantageous situations, much like has been the whole season, I feel like. So, Jonny, any thoughts on any of that or something else you want to discuss offense-wise?
Tech man, I don't know why my internet's so slow. So apologies if I crash. I listened to that very well, and the cover one that you did was really, really good, by the way. I sort of didn't notice that until you put out the clip, the plays they ran. I feel like about the pass game in this game, I think we need to have a talk about middle of the field throws. Someone commented earlier on about this. I think this is the talking point. I think when they were behind, they started opening the playbook up, and I understand that people could say like it's because they were winning and the Bears were playing like very weak coverage. But if you watch play 14 of my film thread, Shane, which you may have shown, and you can comment on if I crash as well, this is not just because the Bears are playing like soft coverage. This is not like they're playing like prevent. All right, they're playing cover 2. All right, they're playing cover 2. There's 2 very clear high safeties. I get it. But this is a higher level throw. Like, that's not from the back angle, you see it as well. Forget, like, what the down distance is. Forget if they're playing very obvious cover 2. It's just a really good ball. And for those of you that haven't seen, I went on a bit of a tirade tweeting. I mean, pocket-wise as well, Shane. The way he steps up and moves his arm out of the way to avoid the rusher is so high level. And it wasn't a good Hurts game. But look at that. That is... He throws it behind AJ on purpose as well. I think it's one of Hurts' best throws, honestly, of all time. And like, to tell me that you can't access the middle of the field more, I don't believe it anymore. I went on a bit of a tirade about the numbers. I looked at the numbers. His intermediate stuff has been brilliant. He's top 5 in PFF grade, like the last 4 years on intermediate throws, whatever you think of PFF grades. His numbers are very good. To me, they need to start doing this more, and they need to not just do it when they're losing. Because I think that the data supports this. And I don't know if you saw the number, Shane, that I tweeted about the decline in his throw percentage to the middle of the field. It's the lowest this year it's ever been. I put out a fancy graph on Twitter for anyone that's interested. If that's the case, you can't tell me it's on Hurts, because he has done it better every year of his career, or he's done it more every year of his career. And I think he's obviously got better as a quarterback. So I think the offense needs to start running some more of this stuff. I think they need to open up a bit more. And I think at this point now, we have to just say that we can do it and stop saying it's because Hurts can't do it. Because I don't believe that can be true anymore, because he is significantly lower this year than he's ever been. And last year, he was the highest he's been since his first couple of years as well.
Yeah, I would also point out that the Eagles, even on this throw, do him no favors. Like, this is cover 2. And there's just nothing else threatening the middle of the field. And so he has to weave this through 2 linebackers and a safety. Like, imagine instead of breaking out into a cornerback in the flat by Devontae Smith, imagine he runs like a post route or something to pull this linebacker with him and create a bigger throwing window. So, like, the Eagles are doing him no favors. But yeah, that one was a great throw. He had another one to the middle of the field on the last drive. There's like a minute left in the game at this point, and this was another good throw. Anticipation, right? Throwing it to the bottom of the screen to A.J. Brown, who wins inside despite the cornerback having inside leverage, makes a great throw. And I mean, it's a great catch by A.J. Brown. Like, you can kind of see it from the back view. Like, he puts that, like, that's a very low probability completion, but he puts it in a place where only his guy could get it, and AJ goes and gets it. And so I think that's something you're going to have to do. You're going to have to open that up. You need to throw over the middle of the field. You need to stop being so concerned about turning the ball over. And I really do think that's a lot of what it comes down to.
Yeah, that last one in particular is one that I will give in, like, okay, the Bears are playing passive. Like, I will accept that. I would accept that as an argument. But I think at some point, like, if they're not going to use motion loads, they're not going to be really creative. They've already got these plays in the playbook because we know they can run them. Just high-low stuff. Like, I think they need to start doing it more, basically. You do a Hurts pass game review, and people can watch that on Patreon if they remember, where you get into a bit more detail. Every week I say there's some good stuff. It's just not consistently good. And if you can't run the ball, then it's going to be hard to throw the ball as well, the way this offense is structured. So I am of the minority. I know people don't like it. I think fixing the run game is the bigger issue, which is why I wanted to start it this week. Do you want to talk very briefly about RPOs as well? I don't know if you have any of them lined up. I have play 1 of my film thread and obviously play 3 as well. So I think people have it in their minds that using RPOs more is like a step backwards, and that Hurts is over this and we're too good for this and we used to do this and now we're better. If you want to improve the run game, stop running into bad run looks. If you want to stop running into bad run looks, run loads of RPOs. So when you're like this, 5-man front, 3 in the box, 8 in the box total, just throw it. I am now at the opinion where I am okay going back to more RPOs, and I think I'm happy if we see this being a bigger part of the offense. And people might say it's regression and Hurts. We thought we got over this, and the Dolphins doesn't work anymore for RPOs and whatever. They're really hard to stop if you do them efficiently. The reason why the Eagles have gone off them is because they keep getting eligible man downfield. And as long as they can time it up right and stop doing that, I think hitting the middle of the field, running some more basic RPOs is a very easy way of improving the pass game without completely redesigning it, because we know it's not being redesigned this year. We know the hit trees aren't going to stop. Like, let's just be honest. Let's talk about what we can actually see improve. I think RPOs and middle of the field are two things that are already in the playbook. We know they can already do. We've seen it this year. And I think I would start to lean on this because they're not going to suddenly redesign the entire pass game this week.
Yeah, and the thing with that is you have to execute at a high level, and you also, even in the RPOs, you just can't be predictable, because the Eagles tried to run that same RPO they ran at the start of the game. The exact same thing, opposite side, but they motioned Devontae Smith over, right? They're going to try to throw that little stick route to A.J. Brown. They tried to run that in the fourth quarter, but the Bears had already seen that look. And so on this particular one, you get the defensive end crashes down hard and really collapses the running lane, but the safety just didn't move and is right there in that window. So they had to hand it off into a not very good look. And so there's still a bit of that. Like, you're allowing the defense to dictate, but that's where if you also have an option to pull and run here, like, you've got to be, if you're going to run the RPOs, I do think you need to be willing to run your quarterback. You need to have multiple types of RPOs, multiple different looks, or multiple things that look the same, I guess, but have different change-ups, different options you can go to, because defenses will start to key on that, and it is harder to run block when you're running the RPOs, but there's a way that you can use those more effectively and more frequently, I think. So, and as Brett Eclipse says, watch the Eagles never run a single RPO again after this. Certainly possible.
We did it versus the Broncos and then just stopped doing it. And by the way, it wasn't just, I should have said this, I think I made too much of a thing about middle of the field throws. That graph you showed earlier on was not just middle of the field. I'm talking intermediate in general. In this game, he had a wonderful intermediate out throw as well. And he used to do them all the time. So I should have made that clearer. Sorry, I'm not just talking middle of the field. They are ignoring the intermediate area of the field. It's basically short or long. And his numbers in the intermediate area have been really, really good. You'll notice we've not spoke at all about the third down. For anyone watching, I would just say check our Twitters, check my article. Like, we've seen it now. It's on Hard Knocks. It's just not a Hurts miss. It's a miscommunication. And Kurt Warner, just go and watch his video. It's brilliant. He blames the coaching staff for not being attentive to details. And this is something we've hit on all season long. So yeah, if you are watching, not to be lazy, why are you not covering the third down? I feel like everyone's covered it by now. Just go and watch Kurt Warner's video, or go and look on your Twitter, or read my BGN article. Any of those
Johnny's
three,
like,
and I think we all share the same opinions.
Johnny's like, read my BGN article
I'm
or
not
watch
doing
Kurt Warner, and doesn't even mention my video, but whatever.
I said you as well, and I'd actually like to say, shout out me, that I called it a miscommunication. I called it a miscommunication live. Everyone was tweeting like, what a terrible throw. And I was like, I know you guys keep saying I defend Hurts, but that's not a bad throw. It was so obvious to me anyway. He was lined up to go somewhere else. He very rarely misses by that much. So I was just like, straight away live, I was like, I don't see it. And yeah.
I that's one where by the time I finished watching the film, I saw Devontae Smith sit down on a hitch 2 other times when he was the hot answer. And I just realized, like, yeah, that's what he expected Smith to do there. Now, I don't like that. I think that's the worst of the 3 possible options, is to sit down. And I go into that all in my video. I'd rather
also,
see
can I tell you my hot take
there,
when it comes to receiver QB errors? I always err on the side of the QB. And by the way, that's not because it's Hurts, Devontae, AJ. It could be anyone. I normally just think a QB has like an overall understanding of concepts better than a receiver does, because it's basically their job every play. So I'm always tending to agree that the QB is seeing it the right way. I don't know if you've seen the Aaron Rodgers drama this week as well. He basically just came out and killed all his wide receivers. But I believe he's probably right. Like, it's probably the case that he is running it the right way. And my guess is Devontae made the mistake there. But again, I'm not saying he did. We will never know. It's just I tend to err on the side of the QB personally.
Yeah. So anything else you want to mention offensively before we flip over to the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I prefer doing it this way, by the way, except for my useless internet, which I don't know what it's doing. I prefer doing it this way. Spacing, just very quickly, very minor point. Spacing sucks on way too many plays. They're calling plays that could work without, and the spacing's wrong. 2-point play 16 on my film thread that you may have seen. I don't want to go into real depth in it because we spent too long. We need to get onto the defense. But just Dallas Goedert's route, it's just a simple slant flat. It's all the Eagles are running. They get clear press man coverage and they run slant flat, which should win to A.J. Brown 98% of the time. But they decide to put Dallas Goedert right in the window. And that's the kind of stuff that I can't for the life of me understand. Like, is it because, I don't know how the Eagles build plays out, that they call like two concepts on different sides of the field? And Dallas Goedert's like, they just sort of forgot about him, just like run a hitch. Like, why would you ever have 3 to one side? I just don't get it. And is that because it's meant to be a QB draw? So Goddard's just there to distract because the offensive lines think it is? Like, I don't know. And by the way, Goddard doesn't even look for the ball as well. He has no
Goddard is
catching
thoroughly
it.
convinced
So,
it's a run play.
Yeah. So maybe it's just a miscommunication. By the way, I also think Hurts does really well when Barkley doesn't sit down, and it could have been completed anyway if Barkley had realised that it wasn't going, but I just don't know. The spacing was really bad in another clip on A.J. Brown over the middle of the field. The pass game is so frustrating. I think the reason why it frustrates us both so much is because I feel like it should be better by very very, very minor tweaks. I don't think I'm not asking for a total revamp of the pass game. I think we're past that. I'm just saying, do what you're doing now. Just do it better. Like, oh, by the way, this is a good clip, by the way. Fran Duffy is already done. No, sorry, this is a different play. Is this the one where he throws to A.J. Brown in the shallow?
No, this is the one where they try to run mesh and the two routes are 4 yards apart.
Yeah, it's bad. There was another one that he threw to A.J. Brown. I don't know if you've got when they ran like a dagger, and Fran Duffy did a good job breaking it down. And just how the timing of the QB's drop doesn't match the concept. And I don't know if this is because A, they're planning it bad, or B, every route to Jahan Dotson takes 15 seconds longer because the man cannot get off the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure what the problem is there, but I said this in my BJ article as well. The Eagles need to thoroughly rethink how they do wide receiver free next year. We'll see what happens to A.J. Brown. I assume Devontae Smith will be here. I want a dog. I want a blocking, big guy, physical, red zone threat. And then I want a wide receiver 4 who runs down the field extremely fast, because their profile of receiver room doesn't work. And considering they should have gone into the year thinking we want to run the ball, the profile of wide receiver 3 makes the Dotson trade even worse. And I fully admit I got that wrong. When we watched him, we said his film this year isn't great, but we sort of ignored it and thought, let's look at his rookie film. But I said in the BGN article, he's not a good blocker. And every year I underestimate the importance of blocking wide receivers. And look around the good offenses in the league. They have good blocking tight ends and good blocking receivers. And that is me done for the pass game.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Johnny, you don't know football. You just like football.
Yeah,
so
I know.
we
never
expect
name
anyone
drop
to take
people.
you seriously.
We never name drop people, but I did name drop him because Stephen Reeves posted like the stupidest tweet. And yeah, shout out Dennis. Still hasn't apologised, so I'll keep raising it until he does. Just, if you enjoy sports, just be nice to other people who enjoy sports. I hate to break it to you, even ex-players don't know everything, because unless you're in the QB room, no one ever will know everything. So try not to pretend everything, especially don't try and pick on other people for just ridiculous reasons like where they go to school or where they work or something. I don't know.
The who's down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
This is Jason Momoa, and I'll be your finance professor today. Welcome to Banking Smarter 101 with Chime. Bam! First lesson, sign up for Chime and set up direct deposit. You'll be joining millions of members banking fee-free. Second lesson, get cash back on eligible purchases while building credit and a higher APY on your savings. That's how you bank smarter this season. Fa-la-la-la-la, class dismissed. Join Chime today.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and a secure Chime Visa credit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. Details at chime.com/fees-info. With a qualifying direct deposit, earn 1.5% cash back on eligible secure Chime Visa credit card purchases. On-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. APY means annual percentage yield. Learn about credit building and more at chime.com.
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty believes your body is brilliant, naturally designed to thrive, inside and out. For those always looking for new ways to support your health from head to heels, Nature's Bounty has a range of over 400 vitamins and supplements born from 50 years of trust and care. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Visit naturesbounty.com to learn more.
The Freddy Fazbear box just dropped at Popeyes for $7.99, and it's scary good. Garlic palm tenders and cheesy bites with marinara sauce. Upgrade to the deluxe box for $12.99 and get a 20-ounce drink in a cupcake cup. Dig in before it's too late. Try the Freddy Fazbear Crunch menu, now at Popeyes. See Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in theaters. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Prices may vary.